From the pages of a lost Chinese classic, a bizarre voyage across a world of wonders. This is the Vermilion Quill's chronicle of flowers in the mirror. After the lands of inverted power and hidden faces, their next destination promised a respite. This was the land of gentlemen, a realm renowned for its peace, whose very motto declared that goodness was the only true treasure. The air was calm, the people gentle. At first glance, it was a perfect society. But this perfection was built not on laws, but on an ingrained, almost instinctual foundation of mutual respect. This radical deference extended even to the soil itself. Farmers yielded their own fields to their neighbors, treating land not as a possession to be guarded, but as a shared trust to be cultivated by all. This behavior, they soon realized, was not instinct, but education, instilled from the earliest age. Here, virtue was not simply a choice. It was the entire curriculum. But it was in the marketplace that this philosophy twisted into a baffling paradox. When virtue becomes a contest, even buying a vase turns into a moral dilemma. Here, the seller's honor was in proving his goods superior by demanding a lower price. The buyer's in proving his humility by paying more for a lesser item. It often required a mediator to force a transaction to its reluctant conclusion. The verdict was as baffling as the argument. The buyer was forced to accept the flawed item at a high price, while the seller had to include the perfect one as an apology. A transaction where the very notion of profit seemed to lose all meaning. Reeling from the inverted logic of the marketplace, the travelers stumbled upon another public spectacle. And here, they would discover that this bewildering selflessness wasn't confined to commerce. It was the very foundation of their justice system. In any other land, a courthouse is a place to assign blame. Here, it was a stage for a contest of confession, where each man fought to claim responsibility for the misfortune of another. For the scholar, it was a philosophy. For the mariner, a curiosity. But for Lin Junyoung, this utter paralysis of logic was the final offense. It was an intolerable madness, and he decided he had to break it. He would test their ultimate taboo, the raw, glittering allure of wealth. He offered jewels to the state, an act of generosity so extreme it was forbidden by the nation's founder. The Prime Minister's reaction was not temptation, but terror, as if a vial of plague had been opened in his court.
How dare you?
He cried.
Bring this moral corruption to our shores?
He had expected to be met with greed, the one human impulse he understood. Instead, he found only righteous fury. The people didn't want his riches. They wanted to expel the very idea of them from their city. In their eyes, he was not a tempter, but a pitiable, diseased soul. A man afflicted with a terrible, alien illness of wanting more than his share. The travelers fled not because the land was evil, but because its perfect virtue was, to a man of the world, a suffocating, terrifying madness. The island they left behind remained as peaceful and virtuous as when they arrived, but the travelers took a piece of its madness with them. The chroniclers note, in a world consumed by the pursuit of gain, the land of gentlemen poses a haunting question. What if the true weight of a soul lies not in what it possesses, but in what it relinquishes? Yet, in rejecting self-interest so completely, does this utopia also cast out the survival instinct, an ancient vital part of human nature? Or have we simply forgotten that generosity was never meant to be extraordinary, but ordinary?